Hello. Yeah, welcome to our discussion on chapter 10, which covers motivating employees. Now, in this chapter, I'm going to try to identify, distinguish, and relate different motivation theories. So, we're going to look at, of course, what motivation is, and then we are going to use different motivation theories to understand motivation in detail. We're also going to show how managers put motivational theories into action through some of the strategies could be job enrichment, open communication, and job recognition techniques. And then lastly, as we cover the chapter, I would ask you to reflect uh, your own experience at the workplace, either as a manager or as a leader or as an employee, to some of these motivational theories so that from your own reflection, you'll see probably where some of those theories are being applied today. So keep in mind to do so. So let's begin this discussion by first of all defining what motivation is. So again, this is a very common concept, and you have heard this concept probably maybe so many times. Uh, just a simple definition of motivation is is basically the inner drive that directs behavior towards certain goals. So this is a psych process. Again, another way to look at this is a psych process that gives behavior some kind of purpose and directions. In other words, it explains or it gives us an understanding why people do what they do. So there could be something, some incentive or some kind of force behind it that enables them to do what they're doing. So, from a management perspective, the goal of management or any organization is, of course, to try to help employees satisfy their needs. So, again, this is to satisfy employees' needs at the same time, uh, and this again for the benefit for both the individual benefit and for the organizational benefit. Now, this is key to us because the cost of a dissatisfied employee, which could range from low productivity or decreased productivity, a high turnover, the cost of either hiring employees again because the turnover, or it could be the retraining. So you could find as a company, the company incurs several or loses several thousands of dollars by having to go through retraining or having to hire other employees to fill those positions for those who have left the organization for maybe a simple reason, just they were not satisfied at the current workplace. So the importance of motivation, again, this takes us back to what we learned in our previous chapter on principles of management. If you remember, we did look at planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. And what I want to do is just to reflect over leadership, which we said again, the work of leaders is to try to influence employees. And one way we do this, or one way leaders do this, through, again, you think about it in terms of managers and leaders, again, is to motivate the employees so that employees can do their best. So this becomes an important aspect in the organization. And we saw, again, I just mentioned the previous slide, the cost of losing an employee can cost the company several thousands of dollars. And therefore, it is very important. It's crucial that we hire the right people for the organization. So hiring the right people is very important. And the goal is not just to hire employees, the goal is also to be able to retain the employees. So you bring the best employees to the organization and you want to keep them again for some time. So that becomes a key aspect of leadership and motivation. Now, I want you to think about this. Is there something wrong with an organization that hires employees often? Again, I'm sure you can pick up some examples from some businesses or some companies from the local community, uh, or even nationwide, where you'll see probably they hire all the time. So there's nothing wrong again hiring all the time, but I'm sure you can probably identify there could be something amiss or there could be something wrong with these organizations. And therefore, our discussion in the chapter is trying to figure out why that could be the case. Is this a motivational problem? Is this something that can be addressed by providing incentive to the employees? And if so, what kind of incentives are you going to provide to these organizations or these companies or these businesses so that again you reduce the turnover rate? And the other aspect to think about is if you think from your own perspective, in your own experience, what drives you to do your best at the workplace? So think about those examples as we cover the chapter, because that will help us to try to understand that what drives you might not be the same thing that drives someone else. And that becomes the challenge that managers have to face, is where what drives you is not the same thing that drives employees. So how then can we understand how we can motivate employees if the truth is that you could apply one technique, you could apply one tool. For example, you could use salary, but then you find out not all employees are going to be motivated by an increase in salary. Some of them it could be, some of them that might not be the case. So that becomes a challenge for managers to try to find this. So to understand what drives you to do your best, this could either be something inward, something inner in yourself that drives you to do your best. And this could be, for example, a sense of achievement, could be something like, maybe, for example, pride. So the personal satisfaction that you feel when you complete a task or you achieve a goal. And other people, you'll find this could be something external, what we call extrinsic motivation. So it could be something that is given to you as a reward that basically is going to motivate you to do your best. And some people, this could be a praise, it could be a pay increase, it could be a promotion. And so, in other words, some of these external rewards or incentives are there again sometimes to motivate employees. Other people, something inward inside is what motivates employees. So in other words, then, or some people could just be both. It could be something internal and something external. But the most important of all these elements that motivates employees, the intrinsic one becomes very key. So that's the most important aspect that's going to motivate employees. So though motivation, the drive to satisfy a need, ultimately comes from within an individual, we always also have to look at other ways we can stimulate or we can incentivize employees. And just to give us a understanding or a clear picture of the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic reward, you can look for from this chart, for example. So some people, again, the external, which is basically outside, the praise, the increase in the salary, the gifts, the promotion will be what is going to motivate those, those employees. Some people will be something in internal. The personal satisfaction is what is going to motivate the employees. Again, the most important aspect, all of them are important, but of course, if you have to rank them, then of course the internal motivation becomes a key aspect of motivation. And there's so many ways organizations try to motivate their employees. This is just to name a few. Companies provide some fringe benefits. For example, flexible work schedule or work hours is one way you incentivize employee. Some companies provide vacation, uh, opportunities for promotion, again within the first 1 year. So you're hired at an entry level, and maybe within a year you're able to move up to a different level. Again, that's just one way of motivating employees by using promotions. Other companies use the retirement benefits, the 401k, and the matching. They match 5%. So you contribute 5% in your retirement plan, and then match this with the 5% or 7%. Again, is another way of using monetary terms, for example, to motivate employees. Some provide, again, great health insurance benefits or insurance policies, that again use those also. Again, sometimes, again, this becomes a good incentive to motivate your employees. So there's so many ways that you can motivate employees. Again, the takeaway from here is just to show you that there is no single technique that you're going to say, I'm going to use the flexible work hours, for example, and this is going to make every employee satisfied and happy and do more than what they're supposed to do. You'll find some people, yes, this will work. Some people, you'll find the promotion works. Some people, you'll find the 401k is what motivates them, and so on and so on. But the challenge again we face is, how do you then identify the employees that are able to uh, uh, motivated by flexible, a flexible work hours? How do you identify those employees that will be happy and satisfied with insurance benefits, and so on and so on? So we are going to explore this further by looking at different motivational theories. And what I'm going to do, just to give you a bigger picture of our next series of discussion on this chapter, is I'm going to look at different motivational theories. So there's the scientific theories, and there is the human, or we call it behavioral theories. I'm going to focus more on the behavioral human relations theories, but just keep in mind we do also have the scientific theories. But my focus more will be on these theories and many more. So again, as we cover the chapter, our takeaway is going to be how these theories are relevant to management today, and how we can apply these theories to our daily life or to our working life in those organizations. In other words, do you see an application of Abraham Maslow theory at your workplace? Do you see an application of Heisenberg two-factor theory at your workplace? Do you see an application of McGregor theory X and Y at your workplace? And do you see an application of the other theories? So we're going to look at all these theories, but the point again is, where are these theories being applied at the workplace, and so on. So again, just keep in mind, we have the scientific theories, and we also have the human relations theories. So we shall discuss this one by one in the next set of videos. So look forward for my next video, where I'm going to start my discussion by looking at the first theory, which is the Abraham Maslow theory, which is basically the hierarchy of needs theory, and we will see how what this theory is all about and how this theory is relevant to us in management or in business, and how you can apply this at your workplace. So see you in the next set of video. Thank you.